Vaibhav, is my voice clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's wait for 2 minutes so that everyone can join. So, warm good afternoon to all of you. On the last run, we have completed with some arithmetic operations and vector. On arithmetic operations, we have seen how to perform addition, multiplications, and many more mathematics operations in R. On vector, we have seen how to create a vector. Vector is basically your collections of values, which is called a vector, and we use a syntax small c to create a vector. When studying vector, we have seen some operations like sorting, sequencing, which we can perform on the vector. In today's lecture, we will see how to store a matrix in R, how to perform various matrix operations and algebraic operations on matrix, and we also discuss what is multidimensional array. As you know, if you talk about matrix, matrix is just a collections of values and it is in the form of rows and columns. In vectors, we defined it by the length, but in matrix, if we want to define a length, it is always defined in terms of m cross n, where m is your number of rows and n is your number of columns. Like here, there is a matrix A which has elements from A11 to AMN. The size is MN, where total number of rows are n and total number of columns are n. Ensure the mute first off. Is my voice is clear to everyone? Chetan, is the voice is clear to you? Chetan, are you there? Siddharth, is the voice is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's move. How will store a matrix in R? To store a matrix in R, we use a syntax. That syntax is called matrix. Here I have taken a variable. Variable is the object. In R, we called it object. We've taken an object which is A. In this object, we are storing a matrix. To store a matrix, we first define a syntax, and that syntax is matrix. And within that syntax, you have to take the number of values which you want to enter into the matrix. To store the matrix values, we have taken a vector. To take a vector, I first define the data is equals to C. A small c here denote a vector, and within that vector, I have defined 4 different values. After defining 4 different values, I have to give a dimension of matrix, where dimension can be defined by n rows and n columns. As I have taken the 4 values, I have defined the matrix 2 cross 2, where 2 rows are there and 2 columns are there. By performing these instructions, we can store a matrix which is 2 cross 2 order, having the values -3, 2, 893 and 0.17. If we print this matrix A, it will give me this result. Suppose if you are not defining your number of rows and columns into the matrix, then by default it will take 4 rows and single column, because in R, the storing of the values happened by column wise. It will store all the values into the column. If you are not defining the size of rows and the size of column, then it will take all the values into different rows and will assign a single column to it. Then how will use the filling the directions of the matrix? If you are not taking it by using the by row is a syntax in which you can insert the values by using row wise. If you are not using by row, then it will store the values in a column wise manner. By default, R fill your values in a column wise manner. Suppose I have taken another matrix. The syntax is matrix data I have taken in a vector form. See, from 1 to 6, these are my matrix elements. Here I have defined n row is equals to 2 and n column is equals to 3. And I have taken here by row is equals to false. If you see, it will store the values in a column wise. As 2 rows are there, it will store the first 2 values in a first column, then second 2 values in the second column, and last 2 values into the third column. And if you want to store all the values in a row wise fashion, then you have to take by row is equals to true. Now let's come to this example where I have taken by row is equals to 2. If you look at this, it will first fill the first 3 elements into the first row. 1, 2, 3 it will store in 1, 2, 3. And then 4, 5, 6 it is stored in second row. Now the matrix values are stored by row fashion. By row is equals to 2. If you are not assigning any value, by row is equals to false or true, then by default it will store all the values in a column wise. Like it will first take the values in a first column, then second column, then third column. Then we have 2 other options, row binding and the column binding. For row binding, suppose if you have different vectors, and if you want to collect all these vectors to form a matrix, then you can use it by row binding or column binding. For row binding, we use a syntax R bind. For column bind, we use a syntax C bind. If we take R bind, suppose we have 2 vectors. The first vector is a sequence 1, 2, 3. As you remember, to define a sequence, we use a colon operator. Like 1:3 means we have a sequence from 1 to 3. Similarly, for the second vector, we have taken a sequence 4:6. It means the second sequence is start with 4 and goes to 6. We have now two vectors, 1 to 3 and 4 to 6. And these two are represented by two different vectors. Two rows are there. Now we have to combine these two rows to make a matrix. For this purpose, we use the R-bind syntax, like R-bind 1, 2, 3 and 4 to 6. As you defined R-bind, it will combine these two rows into the matrix. The first row is 1, 2, 3, first sequence is there, and the second row is 4, 5, 6. The second sequence is there. Now, if you have different columns and if you want to combine these columns together, then we have to use a C-bind. If you look at this example, what happened? We use a syntax C-bind, and after that there are three vectors, C1, 4, C2, 5, C3, 6. These are the three columns given. If we combine these columns by using C-bind, it will give me a matrix by column manner. The first vector 1, 4 is fill into the first column. The second vector 2, 5 comes to the second column, and 3, 6 comes to the third column of the matrix. So we have two syntax, R-bind for row binding operations and C-bind for column binding operations. Now, to identify the matrix dimension, we have a syntax called dim. So let's first define a matrix and then we will calculate the matrix dimension. Like we have defined a matrix, my mat is the name of that matrix. We use the R-bind operation. Within that R-bind operation, what we have? We have different columns. The first column is having three values, 1, 3, 4. The second row has a sequence starting from 5 and goes to 3. 5:3 means there is a sequence starting from 5 and goes to 3. For the third row, we have another vector in which three values are there, 100, 20 and 90. For the fourth row, we have a sequence starting from 11 to 13. As we use R-bind, all the vectors which are stored here will be filled by row manner and will form a matrix. If you print my mat, then what happened? The first row is 1, 3 and 4. The first vector comes to the first row. Then the second sequence is 5 to 3. Then the second value is 5, 4, 3. The third value is another vector which is 100, 20 and 90. And the fourth row is a sequence starting from 11 goes to 13. 11, 12 and 13. As you can see, this is the matrix which is the order of the 4 cross 3. 4 rows and 3 columns. To find the dimension, we'll give a dim function. By using the dim, you have to, within the bracket, name your matrix. Suppose we have created a matrix my mat. We have passed it my mat here, and we use a syntax dim. It will return two values. The first value is your row values and the second value is your column values. Basically, it defines a matrix. It will give me a dimension of 4 cross 3. Suppose if I want to check how many rows are there in my matrix, then I have to take a syntax n row. N row, and within the bracket, the matrix name. Then it will tell me the number of rows, and the number of rows is 4. If we want to check the number of columns, then we use n col within the bracket matrix name, then it will give me 3. The number of rows is 3. Suppose if you want to change the matrix, suppose if you want to check the column by using dim operation, then you have to take dim operation. Within the bracket, you have to pass the matrix name, and within the index, you pass 2. If within the index you pass 2, it means you want to know the columns. It will give me, if you run this syntax command, this will give me a 3, the number of columns. And if you pass a syntax index 1, then it will give me a number of rows. How to extract your position of a particular matrix element? Suppose if you want to extract an element, then you can simply use it by index value. In the similar, we are using in C, we are providing the index element to access any matrix value. Similarly, in R, we use the index values to extract the values of a particular matrix. Suppose I have taken a new matrix A. We have created a matrix. For this, we have passed certain values and we define a dimension here. N row is equals to 3 and N column is equals to 3. It means we are defining a matrix 3 cross 3. Whatever value you have given here, it will split into the defined dimensions. If your number of, suppose I'm creating a value 3 cross 3, it means we have to pass the 9 values. And if we are not passing the 9 values, it by default give me an error value, because the values are less than the dimension. It will by default give me an error. So we have to pass the total number of values according to our dimension. As you pass this, you print it, it will in this form. Suppose if we want to access a particular element, so we have to give index value. Suppose I have to access the third row and the second element. So I have passed as 3, 2. Then it will give me 105. Is the third row and the second column value 105.2. Similarly, you can define any position and you can extract the element from the matrix. Now suppose if you want to extract the whole rows, whole column and diagonal, then what you need to do, suppose you want to extract the column value. Suppose you want to extract the second column, then don't pass any index at the row position, just put a comma, and whatever column value you want to extract, put that column value. If you want to extract the first column, just put 1 here. If you want to extract the second column, just put 2 here. And don't define any row. It will extract the whole column value. Similarly, if you want to extract the whole row value, then just define a row number and don't define any column number. Then it will give you a complete row value. To extract the diagonal value of the matrix, you have to define the diag syntax, and within diag you have to give the matrix name x equals to A. It will give me a diagonal elements. Now we'll come to omitting and overwriting of matrix operation. To delete any matrix operation, you just give the syntax in a negative format. But just suppose I want to delete a column. Suppose second column I want to delete. Don't give any row value. Within the index, you just pass -2. It will delete my second column from the matrix. If you want to delete first row from the matrix, just put -1 and comma. Don't put any column. If you put indices value in the minus terms, it will delete whole rows and the whole column. Suppose if you want to change the value at a particular location, then you have to identify that location and you have to insert the new value. First, I have copied this A matrix into another matrix, that is a B matrix. Both the matrices are now the same. we just want to change our second row by a sequence 1:3. Initially, if you see, we have a second row 4.5, 0.1 and 8.2. Now I have to change my second row. I just define second row, comma, we haven't given any column number, and we define a sequence 1:3. It means it will store 1, 2 and 3 values. If you print now these values, it will replace with 1, 2, 3. In such a way, you can define new sequence values to your already defined matrix. Yes, Anurag? Anurag, you want to say something? So suppose if you want to, if you have any problem, you just chat, just give me a chat, huh? I think Anurag has some network issues. Anyways, let's continue. If you want to change a particular location of the matrix, then what we need to do? We have to define the location within the index. Suppose I want to change first row and the third row within the second column with the value 900. Then I just define a column here 1,3. This is my complete row values and this is my column values. And what value have I assigned? I have assigned a new value 900. If you see in the first row, second column, it replaces it with the 900. Similarly, the third row and second column, it will replace 900 to it. Now I will share. Now I will share my R screen to run all these examples. Hope it is visible to all of you. This is the very first example which I have told. To create any matrix, we use a matrix index. And as I have defining a matrix 2 cross 2, I have taken 2 rows and 2 columns. So I have passed a vector here having the 4 values. Let's run this command. At the console, you can find we have a array A having these 4 values. Let's see how if we just remove one value from here. I have removed this value. Then what happened? It will give me an error message because the values are not equivalent to the defined dimensions. So we'll take a matrix. Then the second command which I told you is a by row function. By row will tell you how to fill your data, row wise or column wise. If you don't define by row is equals to false, it will by default store in a column wise. This is the row wise filling of the, if you look at here, when we run this, it will fill by row is equals to false. When it is false, it will fill a column wise. The first 2 values come to the first column, then second, then third. And as we make by row is equals to 2, it will fill into the row wise 1, 2, 3. As you can see, we are the dimensions of the matrix are the same. Both the matrix are 2 cross 3, but the stored values are different. Then the next 2 commands are row wise binding and the column wise binding. If you run this, then for row wise binding, the two sequences become the two rows, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. And for column wise binding, the three columns became the three vectors became the three columns of the matrix. Now to show the dimension of the matrix, first let's create a matrix. We create a matrix M mat. You can see here, this is the matrix which is created. And in this matrix, we have 4 rows, and these 4 rows are defined by, this is the vector, this is a sequence, this is another vector, and this is another sequence. To show the dimension, I have run all these commands. The first command, dim, will show the dimension. It will return 4 and 3. 4 rows and 3 columns. N row will show your rows and n column will show your column values. If you want to use the dim command to show the column values only, then you just pass a index. We pass the index 2. It will give me a number of columns of the matrix. This is the matrix extraction. I have created a matrix A and I have to extract a value at 3, 2. So we have a matrix value at the position 3, 2, 105 and 0.5. Now to extract a complete column, suppose I want to extract a complete column second, it will give me a second column 91.1, 105.5. If you want to extract another column, just replace the index here. If you want to extract the complete row, we just give the row value, don't give the column value. It will give me a first row value. Now suppose I want to extract the diagonal of the matrix. We use a diag command. It will give me a diagonal of the matrix. This is the diagonal 0.3, 0.1 and 27.9. Suppose I want to delete the second column. Second column from the matrix A, we just put -2 with this sign. It will delete my second column. Now to overwrite the values, first I have copied A matrix into a B matrix. Then I replace the second row with a sequence. First I have copied it and then I replace the second row with a sequence 1:3. Now I change the element of first and third row with the second column with the 900 value. I just run it. It will replace my first row second column and third row second column value with the 900. Let's stop today's lecture with here now. Now I will unmute all of you so that if you have any query, you can ask.
से एक साल तो उसके बाद 200 वाला 8
Is there any query? Anyone has any query?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay. On tomorrow, by tomorrow, we will continue with the algebraic operations on matrix. I have also given R files to you. Whatever examples we are done in the lectures, now I have given the R files also. All of you, please install R on your systems and run simultaneously all the programs. Otherwise, it will become the bulk. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.